All right, everybody, back with a brand new Friday review. Can't wait to kick off today's show with some great research for you. One, if you've kind of been a part of the growing group of individuals who are moving away from alcohol, you'll find a very interesting research paper I want to share on that. Speaking of that, what if there was a non-alcoholic drink available that actually tasted pretty good, had some Ayurvedic and other traditional Chinese medicine-based herbs that was tasty that you could look forward to? I want to share that on today's show too. And then interesting research on ADD, ADHD, what they found between different correlations and something you may be missing as well. But before we dive into all of that, let's go over what you may have missed last week on the show. Now that we're moving into that fall-based season, hopefully you're joining us in just a week for our community detox. If you haven't already seen or you don't know what a functional medicine detox is, hundreds of thousands of people in our community complete this, and I am one of those individuals. We've been doing it now, it's got to be 16 years or so. Check it out at stephencabral.com/detox. I hope you join us next week. On the show, on Monday's show, we went over how to rebuild your life in the next 30 days. I love the Mindset and Motivation Mondays. They're one of our most popular shows. And that is because I've learned in private practice that it's not always about the nutrition, the exercise, the stress reduction, the toxic removal, the scientifically backed supplements, all of those things. It's also the emotions, it's stress, and it's being able to deal with everything that comes our way. Sometimes it feels like an onslaught. So on Monday shows, I really try to help to the best of my ability for what I've seen over the past 25 plus years working with clients. So that's how to rebuild your life in the next 30 days. That was episode 3496. Tuesday's show is this drink causes hair loss in men, by an alarming rate. So please do check out that show. Share it with any men and women in your life as well. Women lose hair and have thinning of the hair as well, just often for different reasons. On Wednesday's show is walk at a 30% incline to burn more body fat. I give you the exact incline, and I also tell you exactly how much body fat it burns. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty impressive statistics. Again, it was one of those things that I was fact checking on social media. The fact check ended up being that they were incorrect. However, the research is phenomenal, and it is absolutely something that most people should add as part of their routine, especially if they're looking to burn body fat, because it doesn't take a lot of time and it burns a lot more body fat. So check out that show. And then Thursday's show is, can AI really cure cancer in 48 hours? It's a bold claim. I tell you where we are at in the process and how far away we may be from that being a reality. All these shows are at stephencabral.com/podcast. Check them on out. All right, let's dive into our product reviews. This and the now research, I think it's fascinating. So let's dive right into it. The herb kava is something I've talked about before on the podcast. Kava tea is absolutely the most potent form of the particular herb. And what you do is you literally get the tea powder, you mix it in warm water, not boiling water, but let's call it 176 degrees, kind of like you'd make green tea, and you make a tea. And you can let it cool if you want, you can drink it cool, but you want to at least start with a heated version of it. And then the powder sinks to the bottom, and you can either strain it or just kind of drink the liquid off the top, which is what I do. That's the most potent way to get kava if you want kava. Now, kava is one of the few herbs that you don't want to overdo. It can have some liver toxicity if you're consuming it every day at high amounts. So I want to state that. It doesn't happen to everybody, but it should be stated. It works. It is a very potent anti-anxiolytic. So a really strong de-stressor, helps to bring down the heart rate in many people, to relax them, to calm them, a lot like CBD, right? A lot like, or even THC. It has a lot of those same effects. It improves GABA receptors. So again, an anti-anxiolytic. I've enjoyed the product for many, many years. I first found out about it when I went to Hawaii many years ago. I was at a farmer's market, and they must have had the equivalent to like a 10-gallon bowl. It was enormous. And the person was just mixing the kava the entire time. And they said, do you want some? And I said, yeah, I'm here for it. So they made me a cup, and I said, appreciate it. Took a sip, tasted like dirt. And I'm like, oh, this is not that tasty. But you know what? I've read about kava. I've just never had kava. And this is, again, I don't know how long ago this was, but a long time ago. We'll put it this way. How long ago was it? Probably 2008, 2009, somewhere around there. And so Anyway, I'm sipping on it. It's room temperature. It's not that tasty, but I wanted the experience and I wanted to try it out. Within 10 minutes to 15 minutes, my tongue was a little bit numb and I was not visibly, but I was noticeably feeling the effects of it. Again, very similar to like a CBD oil, a higher dose CBD. Very calming for my body, and I thought it was incredible. Lasts for about 4 to 6 hours. Well, again, this is kind of a big buildup, but all you get before was the tea and the powder, and it kind of tastes like dirt. Again, like it's not the biggest deal. It tastes like the earth. That's literally, it tastes like roots, like I pulled out of the ground. Well, here's the nice thing. In our modern day world, with all these different food-based manufacturers, there's a couple of companies that are making adaptogenic-based drinks. I am someone that no longer drinks alcohol. It's not like I'm, totally giving it up. If every once in a while I want to have a glass of wine with my brother, who very much is an aficionado of wine and knows all the great things, amazing. I might have a little bit of wine. Every once in a while, if I'm at an event and I want to have a drink, I'll have a drink. But it's so infrequent. I can't even tell you the last time I consumed one. And again, that doesn't mean that I'm any better than anybody else because I've essentially given up alcohol. It's not. I only did it for me, literally. I did it because when I consume alcohol, the next day, I just feel a little bit more tired. My legs feel a little bit weaker. I definitely don't have the same juice for exercise. And I've got a little bit of brain cloudiness. And that's why I gave it up. That's it. Because I'm just prioritizing my health. That's all. Prioritizing family, prioritizing work, prioritizing being able to do this, to be able to talk on a show and not have to have notes, right? It's all of those things that I want to be able to do. All that to say is, and again, I have no affiliation with this company. They're not sponsoring the show. This is just the brand. I always try a bunch. This is the one that I've enjoyed the most. It's Leilo, Leilo. Kava Relaxation is the name of the drink. And if you're watching this on video on YouTube, we appreciate you being a part of our YouTube-based journey here. Definitely do subscribe to the show. We put out a daily show every single day. But this show, it looks like I'm literally promoting this holding in one hand here. But the truth is, this is actually a product that I purchase. And on the weekend, I will have one of these on a Saturday and probably one of these maybe on a Sunday. That's it. But what is it? Well, it contains some of the B vitamins, B3, B6, B12, pantothenic acid, a little sodium, and a good amount of potassium at 290 milligrams, or no sodium actually. And it contains, though, 1,000 milligrams of kava root extract. So it was the highest one that I found in kava, and it also contains 100 milligrams of L-theanine. And I'm sure you've heard me talk about L-theanine before. Great to take with a coffee because you don't get as much of that spike or jitters if you take it with caffeine. This is obviously caffeine-free. It's the opposite of that. It calms and relaxes the body. But it has a good amount of that kava, and it actually tastes pretty good. So it's a sparkling drink that I have over ice. The reason I do it over ice is just to dilute it because it is a little sweet. The one that I'm holding in my hand right here is blackberry orange. This is probably one of the flavors, my favorite flavors. This one, though, has 5 grams of sugar, only 30 calories. The ingredients are filtered water, organic cane sugar, citric acid, natural flavors, organic stevia, and then fruit and vegetable juice for color. But again, there's very little carbs, right? It's only 5 grams total from the fruit and veggie juice from blackberries and orange. So a fairly clean product overall. I'm sure when I'm looking at this too, that yes, it has other certificates like vegan, plant-based, all sorts of different, certifications. What I want to share with you is I just found a couple more flavors the other day. One is a lime margarita. Another one is a Moscow Mule. So it's all the different flavors of alcoholic drinks without the alcohol. And the lime margarita I like because there's 0 sugar in it too. Not that 5 grams is that big a deal, but there's literally no sugar. It's just organic stevia. So just wanted to share that with you. If you're looking for a little something different, you want to skip the alcohol, but you want a little bit of that relaxation, that calming based effect, one of these may work for you. And again, there's other drinks out there that are adaptogenic in nature. This one actually just has ingredients that are overall cleaner, but they have real dosages. Forget about the B vitamins. The B vitamins are fine. They're small dosages, no big deal. Really what matters is the 1,000 milligrams of the kava and 100 milligrams of L-theanine. Both of those clinically proven to open up those GABA receptors, reduce anxiety, calm the body. All right, that is the Kava Relaxation by Leilo product review of the week. All right, so now what got me to recommend that, though, is actually the more recent research and articles being written all the time about people moving away from alcohol. This one right here shows that alcohol consumption in the US falls to 54%, the lowest rate in 90 years. So let's actually check out what that research is now saying and see if you fall within one of these categories as well. When I was reading it, I couldn't believe it. I just didn't think that it had gotten to these levels. And I'll tell you, bars and all sorts of different places are definitely suffering. But this is US based only. 54% reporting that they drink less alcohol now, with only 54% saying that they actually drink alcohol, marking the lowest figure in 90 years. The trend reflects a growing skepticism about the health benefits of moderate drinking, as 53% of respondents now believe that even moderate alcohol consumption poses health risks, a stark increase from just 28% in 2015. So 10 years ago, it essentially doubled. Here are the key highlights: record low drinking rates. Wow, that was my Boston accent just making its appearance again. The percentage of adults reporting alcohol consumption has dropped from 62% in 2023 to 58% in 2024. And now again, moving even lower to 54%. Let's see what else. Among young adults 18 to 34, the rate has fallen from 59% to 50%, placing their drinking rate below that of older adults. So the younger the individual is now, the less likely, obviously above the age of 18 or 21, depending on where you're at, with just less interest. And the reason seems to be a shift in focus on health. People are more concerned with their health and worried about the health ramifications of drinking alcohol. Why? All of the research that I've shared on this show as well, especially on the Friday reviews, it's that if you are consuming more than 2 to 3 drinks a week total for men, or 1 to 2 drinks for women, you increase your rates of cancer or your risk for cancer. That's a very real statistic. 2 to 3 drinks for men, 1 to 2 drinks for women increases your risk for cancer? The answer is yes. And again, I've gone over all of that science-based before. We can try to link up some of those shows at stephencabral.com/3500. You know what? I'll link up. This is in Food and Bev. So foodbev.com. I'll actually link up the article with all the different research on it if you want to check it out. All right, we've got one more research article here for the week. It is on ADD, ADHD, and I've got a bunch of different research articles that I can link up for you as well. But again, this is me going back to kind of fact checking some of the things that I see on social media. I'm saying, is this really true? And here's what they said. They basically said by cleaning up a child's diet with ADHD, they could see a reduction in symptoms by, it's just some huge number. I'm not going to give you the number, just because it wasn't true. And so I said, okay, is this true? And the answer was maybe yes, maybe no. But in my opinion, the way that we raise up the natural health industry is by that we can share, hey, listen, this is what Ayurvedic medicine says, traditional Chinese medicine. This is what's been said for thousands and thousands of years. And here's some clinical research from the past decade or so showing that this is actually true. Like, that's what I like to do in my practice. I like to say, it's worked for thousands of years, and based on the evidence, it's still working today, and now here's why. So we can explain it to a very large array of people. But I said, you know what? Let me share some real ADD, ADHD research, because I know in my practice how we're able to help children and adults overcome it. But let me share what some of the research says. An elimination diet has been shown to reduce symptoms by 60 to 78% in some children under controlled conditions, meaning they usually give them a Mediterranean-style diet or a DASH diet, and actually their condition greatly improves. Okay, so we know food is some part of a factor. Let's go on. Cross-sectional studies in a Western style or junk food diet, heavy on processed foods, additives, and sugar, that basically just says fast food, right? Leads to an increased risk of ADHD ranging between 50 and 90%. Okay, so now we have a study that says, we have one study saying that if we clean up the diet, symptoms get better 60 to 78%. Okay. We have another one that says symptoms get worse if you're on a processed food diet by 50 to 90%. That's huge, right? Like it's enormous amount, enormous. One flips in one direction if we clean up the diet, one flips in the other direction if we have the standard American diet, right? Okay. Conversely, healthier diet patterns like the Mediterranean diet correlates with a reduced risk of ADHD, around 37%. So the thing is this, is like, it's not even something to be caught. Like it's the wrong terminology. You can't catch ADHD if you're using the Mediterranean diet. No, it's overlooking that there are underlying root cause imbalances. Even in children, the rain barrel can overflow. Mine overflowed as a child. I had terrible allergies. I had low-level asthma. I had ADD. I had what would have been labeled that for sure if there was medication back in my day. I had insomnia. Like I had all of these things because my rain barrel overflowed even as a child, right? All right, I've got one more study for you. Randomized, double-blind, controlled, placebo-controlled trial. This is a big trial, right? Showed that the removal of artificial food colors and certain preservatives like sodium benzoate led to reduced hyperactivity, ADHD, in preschool age children. So here's the thing. Okay, is it the diet? Is it adding processed foods? Is it food coloring? Is it artificial flavors? It's yes to all of it. And they say, well, a lot of these studies aren't conclusive, but yes, but here's why. Because it's not one silver bullet. There's not one thing affecting a child with ADD and ADHD. It's not, right? There's usually gut-based issues. There's inflammation. There's higher levels of omega-6s to omega-3s. There's a lack of antioxidants, polyphenols in the diet. And all of these things are affecting the gut-brain axis, right? What we put in our stomach and our digestive system in 26 feet, 28 feet of digestive tract ultimately gets sent as signals through the vagus nerve to the brain, gut-brain axis, and for the brain back to the gut as well, saying there's something wrong. And there is something wrong, right? So it sets off improper dopamine to serotonin, improper dopamine to GABA-based responses, and we have what looks like ADHD. Right? And so it's like, oh, well, no, they're genetically prone. No, it has really nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with underlying root cause-based imbalances that then get exacerbated with the improper foods and all of the other things that children may be exposed to. Higher levels of social media or, even video games. It's like it's a lot of screen time. All of these things can be affected. It's not one thing, it's many things. The good news is there is an answer for this. Find out what's going on an underlying root cause level, especially for kids. The best thing they can do is run what's called the starter kit or the vitamin tox test. Test all their vitamin levels, all their mineral levels, all their heavy metals or many of their heavy metals, and also their gut health. You can find that at stephencabral.com/starter-kit. It's for adults. It is for children ages 3 years and up. So basically whatever works for them. But that's why you always see these conflicting reports. Because if a child isn't affected by that particular thing, well, they don't show up as this affecting them. But these are huge statistics. 60 to 70% improvement with elimination diets and swinging the other way, 50 to 90% worse with standard American diet. So nutrition is at least a good first place to start. I'll do many more shows as well on ADD, ADHD. If you're interested, please always let me know how I can help. And of course, don't forget on our weekend shows, we're answering our community's house calls all the time. Hopefully this was helpful. All the show links from today will be at stephencabral.com/3500. I don't know that we'll be able to link up this drink because we talked about anxiety, which the FDA considers a disease. And so here's what we need to do. You can just support companies like this. Again, I have no affiliation with them by simply looking up the company, purchasing from them, see if it's a good fit for you. And then of course, always sharing what works for you with others and loved ones as well. Take care, buddy. Have an amazing rest of the day. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything. Functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.